Hello guys, this is Pokéland Legend Tips with another video, and before we move into the real deal, please subscribe to the channel, drop a like. If you have any questions you can ask us in the comments, of course, or just drop us a message in Facebook. That would be great as well. So it's been a long time since we did any World Series videos, and I thought just why not, since there's some big shots today. And I thought about testing the new Sword of Justice team, pseudo Sword of Justice. So I'm not using Sacrifice anymore. This is gonna be a Sword of Justice, and there's a big difference between the both. Where's the World Says? So here we go. So this is the enemy today. Ninong, of course. Galleon, which is a new name that is coming up these days. Really strong, actually. There's a bunch of, I think, 30 million plus teams. This is Payback, whoever. Another guy that is showing up as well. Kind of strong as well. So yeah, then the rest is okay. So yeah, let's start again as usual. Let's just check the team. Yeah, that's right. So let's start and quickly go for the two first waves. Okay, the main difference between the Sword of Justice team and Sacrifice is that in Sacrifice you are actually trying to sacrifice two of these guys here. You want these two guys, Cobalion and Vasion, to actually die really fast. So that's your purpose. But the Sword of Justice was the Sword of Justice team. You really want them to last, and you really want them to do a lot of damage, like you can see here. So you kind of have to build them fully. So you're still gonna have the sacrifice ability on them, but you do have to build them, in contrast of the first case, in Sacrifice case, where you don't really care. You have to keep them as weak as possible so they can die really quickly and give your Pokemon here, the only one here, a quick buff at the beginning, so you can actually kill the enemies real fast before they start buffing and stacking and so on. So that's the plan, of course. Well, so far this is working out, but again and again, Sword of Justice teams or Sacrifice are going to be meta for a long time, at least 6, 7, 8 months from now. These teams would be really, of course, there will be variations about which Pokemons will be in there. But for example, in the pseudo teams, now Genius X, Mewtwo X, or Ash Infernape are good choices, but in the future, shout out to my guildie. This is actually one of my guildmates. Then, of course, later on, there will be new Pokemons that will show up, Marshadow, some other stuff that will, of course, be used instead of these. But again, yeah, the team setup will still be the same, so you can just inherit it quite simply. Okay, for the abilities, since we are at it, you actually want Sacrifice SS on them all. So you can see this is Sacrifice 3 and Iron Hoof on the one that have it. As for Killdeer, which is like a buffer for the Sword of Justice, he's sort of a buffer since he gives like some sort of shields and so on. So yeah, you want him to have either speed or damage depending on really what you're lacking. So that's the main thing. Of course, you can, this is a pseudo fighting, so you can remove Genius Act and add another Sword of Justice, which I would recommend to add Vasion, since he is pretty much easy to kill, so he can buff your team real quickly. And he has, if you try to build him, he has some nice abilities as well. He has the debuff, which works great, speed debuff, as well as removing all the buffs from the enemy. So that's just, and Spotlight, that's another really important one. Okay, so we are almost there. I actually record these World Series fight not only to give an insight on the team that I'm using on it, but also to give opinions on whatever will be coming next, or the teams that we are actually meeting, since that's an important fact as well. So here we go for it. So yeah, as you can see, not a lot of teams can actually win against the Sword of Justice team. To be honest, they are really broken right now, and they will only be really easily beaten when you have a really high crowd control team, really strong one. So one of the teams that can easily beat these are any teams that work on confusing the enemy, debuffing speed, stunning. So if you have, for example, Yuxi and you're in manual, it's really kind of easy to kill a Sword of Justice team. Or for example, if you have Meluetta there and she makes everyone sleep, then that's another case where where you can really easily beat a Sword of Justice team. So yeah, in the few next updates, there will be, I think, aerial form of Meluetta will show up, and that will be really a nice counter of Sword of Justice, I believe, since with her sleep moves, she's just super nice. Okay, so shout out to our Ninong. Let's fight his 10 million team. Of course, this is without support, so it's pretty much close to 11 million. So Yuxi would technically be a problem, but since Genius Act is there, shouldn't be a problem. And that Coco hits like a truck. Plus he doesn't have support, so it's gonna be easy. You can see that Genius Act with his bug moves kind of wreck Yuxi since she's Psy, so it's not a problem. But in manual, this would be a really different battle, since he will be concentrating on the weak link here, which is Genius Act first, then of course he will kill the rest later. So in manual, I would definitely lose this battle. But yeah, thank God it's not manual. Okay, now we will move to the next fight, which is, I think, Galleon. He has a really nice team, actually. Finny plus Coco, kind of weird, but I think he's using it with Sacrifice, if I'm not mistaken, in his main teams. But now it's with Yuxi, which is even more deadly. Yeah, but I don't really like this matchup of Finny and Coco. It's kind of weird. You are really waiting for Finny to unleash her ulti. So if he doesn't unleash her ulti, then you lose the buff first. So Coco does not really use 2 buffs, so you lose 1 buff. And not only that, if the enemy, for example, like right now, I have a Ziggurat support. If I have a Ziggurat support, then Finny is pretty much useless there, since she cannot really use her ulti, since she doesn't have rage, and I can just take my time to kill all. So you can see that it will be done now. You have a Ho-Ho set on Finny, which makes sense since she is really easy to kill, especially in this meta. I think Finny in this meta is not really recommended. Personally, I won't recommend her unless you have a Wii team for her. So unless you really have a Wii team for her, then it's not really recommended to use the standards Fae teams. And finally, this guy, Payback. Okay, Payback, here we go. So, again, this would go like usual, the Sword of Justice going for the kill. I still don't know why my Cobalion doesn't go for his... oh, I think it was sealed, that's why. Because usually he should go straight away for his Spotlight. That way it will... it will be easy to actually kill the enemy. This is one tough opponent here. That's really one big Genius Act up there. So now we are as long as Cobalion buffs the team and uses the spotlight, then that's pretty much dead game for the opponent, since he will be buffing defenses. Then with spotlight, the enemy will take damage, so it's really hard for them to win back. So yeah, so this is pretty much it. It has been a pleasure, guys. Let's open these chests, which are really important, by the way, so don't forget to try to do world space every day. It's almost over the month, and we will be having the monthly rewards, which is 2,500 points. That's what we are aiming for, which is really important, since we are trying to decrease the amount of boxes we open every day for the World Series. So if you actually have not watched that video, you should. We've showed how to use these points to upgrade your accessories without opening boxes, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, cheers guys, and see you later.